Hare Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees in today's session of the Secrets of Bhagavad Gita. Om Atnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Sharakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Vayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today we are going to discuss Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 text number 7, the remaining part of the purport. Once again I will read the verse and its translation. कार्पण्यदोषोपहतस्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrender unto you. Please instruct me. So, reading from the purport, we have already covered some of the part. So, we'll be reading the rest of the purport. The Kripanas or miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. in the material conception of life. So here the definition of Kripana has been given. Kripanas or miserly people are those who do not value their uh, time in human form of life. So human form of life is not meant for paying attention to ordinary material things. In any species of life, it is seen that there is family structure, there are relatives, there is society, and there are territories. However, in human form of life, one has to think beyond all these things. So it is acceptable that these are all the part of uh, human life, and that's why we have various rules and regulations pertaining to society and how to manage social affairs. However, Kripanas are those who are only interested in material affairs. They do not raise their consciousness beyond all these things. So, in other words, they do not value time. They do not value human form of life. So that is Kripanas. One is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members, on the basis of skin disease. It's very uh, eye-opening statement or a particular word you can say uh, due to on the basis of skin disease. So all material affairs are centered around this skin disease. Skin disease basically means uh, feeling attachment to someone or something just because it is related to one's skin. So uh, we have attachment to our family members, we have attachment to our relatives, we have attachment to our country, or we have attachment to our own house and our belongings. So the basis of all this is our own body, and the body means basically a structure covered with skin. So if our consciousness is centered around the skin disease, or in other words, uh, if you are uh, dealing with this material world on the basis of this skin disease. So that is a sign of ignorance, or as Srila Prabhupada explains here, it's a sign of miserly person. So we are not skin, or we are not these material bodies, we are spirit souls. But if anyway we develop this ignorance and take pleasure in this ignorance, actually there is no pleasure in ignorance, but there are people who take great pride in such ignorance, and they always think in terms of me, mine, and these are ours, and this belong to others. So they have this demarcation in terms of their own skin. So they do not actually think beyond their own skin. So that's the sign of a miserly person who is actually a ignorant person. So only out of ignorance one becomes a miserly person. So it's just a different world to indicate our ignorance. Whether, so whether we call it miserly person or kripana or a ignorant person or ajnani person, is all is same. Next, the kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death, or the kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. So there's another form of ignorance. So miserly mentality also includes such kind of ignorance where one thinks that he is able to protect his family members uh, somehow, and we don't know what it somehow means, because actually we cannot save our family members by uh, best of our efforts, because we are limited. We are not God. We are not controller of this material world or material laws. So we may have attachment to our family members, our relatives, and it is not unnatural to have such material attachment, because that's how we relate to each other in social dealings. However, the material attachment should not uh, lead us to ignorance. If that attachment uh, covers our knowledge, then that attachment has no real value. So to have attachment is not unnatural, but the basis of that attachment should be knowledge, or at least that material attachment should not carry us towards ignorance. So that is a test, and that's why it is advised that we should always um, push ourselves from ignorance to knowledge, from asat to sat, for temporary things to um, permanent things or immortal things. Asatoma asat gamaya, mrityurma amritam gamaya, and tamosoma jyotir gamaya. So from uh, tamas, or from ignorance, we should always try to push ourselves towards light or knowledge. And it's a prayer to Lord Shri Krishna, Paramatma, that, oh Lord, please help us in the achieving such goals of life. So, uh, so Kripana has this mentality of being the controller of the situations, and he also thinks out of his foolishness that his family, his society can save him from the uh, clutches of death, and which is simply uh, untruth. Everyone can see it uh, from reality by observing the reality, but somehow that uh, we do not recognize this fact. So that's the overpowering effect of ignorance or skin disease or miserly mentality. One becomes When one becomes covered by ignorance, then he ceases to see the reality. So even though reality may be very apparent before us, but still we won't able to see it or perceive it. And uh, it may happen that we may entangle ourselves in such skin disease so much so that even even if others help us to get out from this ignorance, still it will be difficult for us to simply recognize that we are in ignorance. Pasyan api na pashyati. Also in Srimad Bhagavatam there is a verse Mati ne Krishna paratah swapova. So even by others' endeavors, it is difficult to get our consciousness towards Krishna, into Krishna. So that's a sign of ignorance, and that's why uh, it is very imperative for all human beings or all living beings, in fact, to always be in it, be in knowledge. Let us not remain in ignorance because ignorance is not our natural condition. To be in knowledge, that is our eternal nature. And here we see how a miserly person, out of his foolishness, he is making a false world of his own choice. And it is similar to making some sand structure near oceans. Kids sometimes they make some sand houses uh, near the shore, and they get so much. They get themselves so much into making such houses that they forget that the waves are coming, and soon their so-called beautiful sand house will be destroyed. So that's the sign of ignorance, and that's what we observe in miserly personalities. So though they know that death is inevitable, death will take everything from them, even their own body, which they value more than anything. Still, they somehow they don't recognize that they are going to give up everything. Forcibly, they have to give up everything. So why to make so much endeavor for something which will be anyway lost? It's a very important question to everyone. Somehow that we do not ask this question. Why to make such huge endeavors for something which is going to be lost anyway? It does not make any sense. Even a businessman would calculate in terms of profit and gain, uh, profit and loss. So what is the actual benefit from all these material endeavors? It's simply loss, and not just loss, but that loss also create more anxiety in our heart, and it leads to more ignorant uh, species of life. Because when we develop such kind of material desires, like that of animals, then naturally material nature would award us such bodies, such material bodies. If someone has a desire to eat meat uh, like lion or tiger, then we would get such ferocious bodies. And if you want to eat unrestrictedly anything, then we may get a body of a pig. So God is merciful, He is extraordinarily merciful. So uh, if we do not realize our own uh, benefit and simply want to develop such material desires, then God, Lord Shri Krishna, through the potency of material nature, will award all these species of life. So it's not that God has any problem with us. So He is merciful. So He may award all these facilities. But what is the gain after all? Even if you become a very fatty pig or become a ferocious tiger or lion, after all, one day you will die. You will lose everything, including your own body. Then what is the benefit? It, it does not make any sense to any intelligent person. But a miserly person never thinks like that. Next, being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. So here, Arjun could understand that actually he is that miserly person. Karpanya doshaha. So he recognizes his weakness. Though in the beginning he was saying that I don't want to fight with my superiors because they are all my worshipable, uh, and even if I kill them, I would receive only sin in return. So no, 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 I don't want to fight. That was Arjuna's determination. And a few moments later, he thinks that I don't know whether fighting with my superiors would be auspicious or not, or whether we will win them or they will win us. And eventually, he understands his own confused state of mind and surrenders to Lord Shri Krishna. So uh, here, Arjuna clearly uh, understand that actually he is thinking like a miserly person, like a kripana person. He wants to save his relatives, but is it possible? He may save them now, but eventually they are going to die one day or some other day. And like others, it is not possible to always be in this material world. So Arjuna, like an ordinary person, he also thinks that I will also have to die. So I cannot save my relatives. My relatives cannot save me. So then, why am I putting all these arguments? So even if I try my best, uh, by the forces of material nature, eventually there will be some conflict or some situations where uh, we all will be vanquished. So life is not eternal. So why am I arguing for temporary life? So Arjun, because he was a learned person, and momentarily he got bewildered, but now he comes to his senses and understand that actually he was arguing like a foolish person. So that was uh, actually a very intelligent decision that at least he could detect his weakness. Many people in practical life, we see, including ourselves, sometimes if we do not recognize our weakness, we do not see our anarthas. And even if someone reminds us of our anarthas, we simply try to avoid that or reject that. We do not accept that there there is possibility of such anartha. Instead, we try to justify that by no means I have this anartha. So, and actually, any intelligent person, whenever he receives some feedback from uh, many other thoughtful person, should give at least some some time to react and should meditate uh, on those feedback. Maybe there is some possibility. We don't know because uh, we are in this material world for many lifetimes, and sometimes it's very difficult to even see our anarthas, see our weaknesses. It's very easy to find others' weaknesses and others' strengths, but it's very difficult to see our own weaknesses, Regarding strength, everybody knows, I have this strength, but it's very difficult to see or recognize our weaknesses, because our ego does not allow us to recognize that I could be at fault. And that's all that to have such ego or false ego, it's also a sign of ignorance. So because we are uh, not on the platform of knowledge, or we do not have the commitment to be on the platform of knowledge, it's very easy to get carried away by the influence of false ego. And due to the influence of this false ego, we do not understand our weaknesses. So if someone is blessed to have knowledgeable person around him, or have access to sources of knowledge such as Vedic scriptures, then even if that person sometimes gets bewildered, eventually he would be able to come to the right conclusion if he is uh, if he has strong commitment to knowledge, and he is not uh, it does not carry that false ego. He should be a humble person, and only in that condition he can detect his own weaknesses. So Arjuna fortunately understand that he is at fault, and there is no point in simply arguing like this. And so since these situations could happen to our life also, and it's a lesson for us that we have to always have this humble mentality. We should always carry this humility that I may be wrong. I'm not God. I'm not perfect. So I may have some imperfections, some shortcomings, and if someone addresses such a shortcomings to me, we should really thank that person that somebody has taken some time for me. So we should take it in a positive manner and reflect over it. So even if we think that we somehow that I don't have this fault, and the other person who is accusing me for that fault, maybe he is envious. Let it be, or maybe that person is in ignorance. Let it be. But whenever we receive such complaints, we should reflect our own consciousness, our own heart. Maybe there is minute possibility of that, and particularly when many thoughtful people are uh, giving such feedback, then we should seriously think about it. That's a sign of uh, a thoughtful person. A ignorant person will never actually accept such feedback from anyone. Uh, he can accept praises from others, because in ignorance everyone likes to be glorified. In dog is likes to uh, be glorified. There is no surprise. But when it comes to uh, think about think over our own anarthas, our weaknesses, then a thoughtful person would be able to uh, see his anarthas, or at least he will try his best to get his anarthas removed. He would surrender to his guru. He would take help from his superiors to uh, to understand how he has certain anarthas, or how he can remove those anarthas. Okay, next. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still on account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. That's another sign of ignorance or miserly mentality. When there is a duty, he will not execute it. So that's kind of pramada or alasya, inativeness or uh, laziness. in the matter of executing one's duty is a sign of ignorance, or in the context of this particular verse, karpanyata or miserly mentality. So a miserly person forgets his duty, and Lord Shri Krishna is reminding him. He's going to remind him again and again that it's your duty as a kshatriya. Why are you thinking in terms of my relatives and this and that? Before coming to the war, you already knew that you are going to fight with your own relatives, and you had taken a vow to kill them. So just as a kshatriya, just fight. It's your dharma. And it's not unusual for kshatriyas to fight with relatives. Don't uh, don't you think that this is something natural for kshatriyas? And Arjuna knew this. He knew this well, but still, because of this miserly mentality, he was uh, simply trying to argue for something which should not be argued for. So that's a uh, sign of miserly person. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious, and now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. So Arjuna and Lord Shri Krishna had a friendly relationship, and Arjuna knew that if he uh, argues like a friend, then he would not be able to get any guidance from Lord Shri Krishna. Because to receive guidance, we need a guru. Because a guru can uh, seriously look into our anarthas and uh, can sometimes chastise us. A friend, uh, he may see our anarthas, but due to friendly relationship, he may not chastise us, or he may not even reveal our anarthas. So it is possible, and that is why Arjuna, uh, uh, in this particular juncture, he uh, accept Lord Krishna in the role of a guru, because by this by now he clearly understands that he has some weakness, and only a guru can show him that particular weakness, and also a guru can show him the path how he can overcome that weakness. A friend, it will be very difficult, so he must need a guru. As many times we hear that we can, anyway, if you have books or Srila Prabhupada books, we can have Srila Prabhupada lecture, then where is the need to even accept a spiritual master? There are some people who make such arguments, but the point is that a guru is someone who can really see in your heart and correct you. He can pull your ears. So that's a special feature of a guru. So books and lectures, they are not going to work like a guru in this particular sense. So that is why we always need such a guru. And if someone argues that we can take counseling or some guidance from other devotees, well, we can and we should always take guidance from other devotees, but that devotee should be in the role of a guru. So if they are not taking up the role of a guru, then it's not possible to uh, to even see our own anarthas and get rectified. Uh, so the guru's role is something irreplaceable. So uh, We may have friends, we may have well wishers, uh, we may have any other family relatives who are also called gurus. In fact, in according to Kunu Puran, there are different relatives who are also called gurus. I will mention this particular verse just for information. उपाध्याय पिता ज्येष्ठ भ्राता चैव महीपति मातुल श्वशुर त्राता मातामह पितामहौ बंधुर्ज्येष्ठ पितृव्यश्च पुंसेते गुरुवस्त्रता. So according to this particular verse from Kurma Purana, Upadhyaya, a teacher uh, who teaches Veda or some Vedic literature. So these are all gurus. Pita, father, Jeshta Bhrata, elderly brother, he is also guru. Mahipati, a king or ruler, he is also guru. Matulaha, mother's brother, or we commonly we call uncle. In Hindi language, we call mama. So Matulaha, he is also guru. Shashura, father-in-law. Trata, one who protects one from something, that is also belongs to the guru category. Then mata maha pitamaho, maternal grandfather and paternal grandfather, that they are also guru. Then bandhu, or our social relative or close relative basically. Jeshtaha, one who is elder to us, that is also guru. Pitruvyaha, uncle, uh, father's brother, we call kaka or chacha in Hindi. So that is uh, guruva. So, so we may have such relationships in our life, and they are also belong to the category of guru. But we need this particular guru, a spiritual master who can really uh, chastise us, and who does not have uh, such kind of relationship where uh, there is any chance of attachment or material attachment. That could be a spiritual attachment between a guru and disciple, but there is no material attachment between guru and disciple, because that relationship is very pure. So Arjuna uh, knew that uh, among friends there is always mutual respect, mutual attachment, material attachment. But now I need a guru. So he addresses Lord Shri Krishna uh, as a disciple, that Shishasteham, I'm your disciple now, and please instruct me. So uh, this particular action is a great lesson for us, that whenever we come across any confusion in our life, we should immediately seek such a character, such a person who can act as our guru. In other words, we should take shelter of our own spiritual master. And uh, the characteristic of such spiritual master and disciplic relationship is that there is no chance of any material attachment, because that relationship is based on uh, serving Krishna. Actually, all our relationships should be like that, but uh, because there are all social relationships, and there are some material elements connected to that. But the guru shishya relationship is considered uh, the purest form of relationship next to God. So uh, that's why this particular relationship is simply irreplaceable. And whenever we come across any anxiety in our life, any confusion in life, we must seek guidance from such gurus. Next, Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself. And yet, foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. That's another foolishness. The whole context is that of Arjuna and Lord Shri Krishna conversing, and Arjuna speaks to Lord Shri Krishna as Bhagwan. Lord Shri Krishna declares himself as Bhagwan, and still there are some rascal scholars, so-called scholars. They misinterpret such words as something indirect, and they give some indirect interpretation that actually when Krishna says that surrender unto me, we should see that actually it means we have to surrender unto the unborn within Krishna. But there is no scope of such interpretation. Interpretation is required when things are not clear. When things are clear, then there is no need of interpretation. When Krishna says, I'm your father, I'm your mother, I'm everything. Pitamahas Jagato Mata Adita Pitama. Where is the need of such interpretation? When our parents said, okay, I'm your mother, I'm your father. Do you, where is the need of such interpretation? So in the context of Mahabharata, the things are very clear. But if you want to make it complicated and serve some ulterior motive, that's a different thing. And demons, in the form of scholars, they will try their best to misguide people, because that's the nature of asuras, demons. They are enemies of God, and they want to avoid God in any way, even through the medium of shastras. They will try to avoid God. So we should be careful by reading such uh, unauthentic commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. There is no difference between Krishna's within and without, and one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. So, Lord Shri Krishna is not a human being like us. He is God, and He has appeared in this human form only to enlighten us. So, uh, from His various pastimes on this earth, we can see that how He was superhuman. Any ordinary person cannot imitate Lord Shri Krishna. So, only a foolish person can really treat him like an ordinary person. Even during the present Lord Shri Krishna, Kamsa and Jarasandha and others, they also treated Lord Shri Krishna like that. But what was the result? They all got killed. And Arjuna, Pandavas, uh, Vyasa, they all understand. They all recognize that Lord Shri Krishna is the supreme personality of God. So demons are uh, everywhere in all yugas, and it's duty of Vaishnavas or duties of Lord Shri Krishna to convince such demons to give up their demonic mentality and surrender to Lord Shri Krishna. That's the message. Uh, I will just in 1 minute, I will just cover what Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur has to say here. There is very wonderful conversation he has presented here. श्री विश्वनाथ ननु तरी सोपपत्तिकम शास्त्रार्थम त्वमेव ब्रुवाणः क्षत्रियो भूत्वा भिक्षाटनम निश्चिनोषि तरी अलम मदुक्त्या इति तत्राह कार्पण्य. So when Arjuna said that karpanya doshupata svabhava, he begins these words. So Lord Shri Krishna uh, may speak to Arjuna that okay, you have already declared that even though you are a kshatriya, and but still you would uh, do bhikshatana, you would beg alms, and you have given so many arguments. So patikam shastrartham brahmana. You have given so many arguments from dharma shastras. So now tani alam. So why should I now speak? You already declared yourself. You already have your own reasoning. Why should I speak now? So then he says karpanya, that I am actually a miserly person. So that is Arjuna's recognition of his own weakness. And how is it that स्वाभाविकस्य च शौर्यस्य त्याग एव मे कार्पण्यम. So Arjuna uh, explains that actually by nature I'm supposed to show my prowess in the matter of following dharma. As a kshatriya, I must show my prowess. I understand that, but still I somehow that I'm not able to do that. So I have given up my prowess, and that is my karpanya. That's my miserly nature. Though I have it, I possess it, but some other I have given up that prowess. Then धर्मस्य सूक्ष्म गति इति अतः धर्म व्यवस्थायाम अपि अहम मूढ़ बुद्धिरेव अस्मि अतः त्वमेव निश्चित्य श्रेयो ब्रूहि. Because Arjuna says that dharma samudho chetaha. In the matter of dharma, I am simply bewildered. So why is it so? Because Arjuna says that dharma se sukshma gati. Uh, the dharma is very subtle. Uh, the affairs of dharma are very subtle, and that's why in the matter of dharma, I recognize my weakness. I am a bewildered person. Mood buddhi hi hum. So that's why I ask you to kindly dispel my doubt regarding dharma. Then again, upon this, Lord Shri Krishna may uh, speak to Arjuna in this way. Nanu mad vachastam pandita manitvena khandesi chet katham bruyam. So Lord Shri Krishna may say that, okay, I may speak something, but what if you uh, uh, refute my statements? Because you may think yourself as Panditamani, because you are considering yourself as Pandit, a knowledgeable person, and if you refute my all statements, then why should I speak? Tatraha shishyasteham asmi nata param vritha khandeyami iti bhava. So in answer to that, Arjuna replies that no, it won't. I won't refute your statement unnecessarily. Only when I get some doubts, I will speak. Otherwise, I'm your disciple. Shishyasteham. So please instruct me. So there's a conversation between um, Arjuna and Krishna. We can see here. It's very logical. So these are the signs of intelligent person. Whenever they speak, it carries profound meanings in every single word they choose. So we should learn from Arjuna and such great personalities how to be careful in all minute details of our actions, whether it is speaking or thinking or doing some any activity. Okay, I will stop here. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता यज्ञ की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Thank you everyone for joining this class. Hare Krishna.